Hi, so this is week 4 reflection, and this week I focused mostly on my pitch. That's what we did this week. I really put a lot of pre-production and research to the side. Actually completed all the research. There's like a tiny bit left to do that I didn't have time to do because I wanted to prepare for my pitch early, and I managed to prepare for my pitch early and get everything done. So what I thought might happen is I thought that it was just going to be pure focus on my pitch. And that did happen. It was just pure focus on my pitch. I thought the challenge that I might face were obviously pitch related. I thought it might take a long time. My previous pitch didn't actually take as long as I thought it would, so I did have some hope for this pitch, but it did take quite a long time because there was a lot of research that I had to gather, whereas the other one was more of my own stuff, so it was a little bit easier in that sense. However, this one I did feel as though it was more interesting than the previous one, because I was gathering everything that I'd previously learned, so I had good knowledge on it already. How did I prepare? What our teacher told us a little bit about the pitch. I also went and looked away at what was expected of me in the pitch, and then gathered all of my research together in order to be prepared. So obviously taking my sketchbook, looking at everything that I'd already done, and then making notes on what research that I have made, which I will apply to my pitch. And that was a really good method for me, so yeah. What was happening as I was making decisions, in the early stages of producing my pitch, I felt as though I was making bad decisions. It wasn't going the way that I wanted it to be going, and I wasn't following the guidelines as much as I would want to have been. However, I did fix that, and I sort of stopped halfway through making my PowerPoint and realised that this isn't right, because I was waffling and it was going on for so long, and for me staying under 10 minutes, that was going to be hard. I knew that was going to be difficult because I waffle. However, I did manage to, I believe, stay under 10 minutes, but in practice I stayed under 10 minutes. Probably about 4 times I practiced it. I stayed under the time, so I was pretty sure it would be fine. Did it work out as expected? Yes, I expected to present my pitch well, and I think I did do it well. I wasn't nervous about doing my pitch or anything like that because we've done quite a lot of presentations now, and I sort of unlearned how to do it, but I've always been really good with presentations nervous wise. I've never been scared, and I can usually present myself quite well and get my point across, not too much stumbling on words, a little bit, not too bad. So the pitch did work out as expected. I got really good and helpful feedback from my teacher, which will also actually help me move forward a little bit. So, and how was I dealing with the challenges? Obviously the challenges were time. With that, I thought it was going to take a long time, but it didn't. I planned my time really well, and my preparation was really good, because I organised all my research beforehand and made sure everything was ready for when I needed to apply it to my PowerPoint and my presentation. What was I learning? I learned quite a lot about my own product, and actually came up with some more ideas, and I won't go into detail what all those ideas were because I came up with quite a lot of new ideas, and also felt a lot more prepared. I've organised everything, and I've also learned how to organise again. I'm always learning how to stay organised and how to be prepared, and I adapt, and throughout the course I've become better and better in preparing and planning. So now I'm just preparing and planning for my pre-production. I'm about to start it, and that's going to be a long process, but yeah, that just contributed to learning about how to be organised basically. And my insights on last week, I think it was a really successful week. I did everything that I wanted to do, which was my pitch. I think I completed one task, which was audience. Like, I looked into my audience, because I hadn't done that previously, and I needed that for my pitch. So my insights are really good actually. I really enjoyed the week. Everything went as planned. And what went well and why? My presentation went great. I think it went great because I was prepared. I had practiced loads. I knew what I was talking about. I had the knowledge. I had applied the creativity that I'd already, obviously, like I'd come up with my idea. I think my idea was strong, and I was engaging and carried out the presentation well, as well as the content being quite successful, I think. So, is there anything I could do differently next week? I'd say this week I feel like I didn't do that much. Like, I did a lot because I did the presentation, which of course took quite a long time. But I do still feel like I could have done a little bit more. I could have began my pre-production instead of preparing for it, but I do find myself getting into that habit. Sometimes I just prepare and prepare and prepare and never produce. I'm just always preparing. So I think next week I'm gonna start producing and start really like diving into my pre-production. There's a lot to do in a short space of time. I only got 2 weeks, so I really need to crack on and manage my time really well as well. Overall, what have I learned about my own product? I've kind of taught myself about my own product. I know that sounds weird, but I have. I've taught myself. I've looked into my audience more. I've looked into the theories, the audience response theories more. I've looked into my narrative structure. I've looked into my plot more. I've looked into props. I've looked into budget. I've looked into all of those things again, which sort of refreshes my brain and makes me a little bit more confident about what I'm going to produce, and it makes every decision sure and everything that I've thought of sure, because I want to be sure about everything, and that's how you can be best prepared and carry out production in the best way, to know the decisions you previously made and know what you're going to do inside out and just have everything really organised. So what are the long-term implications? Of course I'm going to university in September, and I usually bring that up, but it's so true. There's going to have to be a lot of presentations at university. I know that already. I've spoken to the lecturers at the university I'm going to, and we are going to be doing a lot of pitches and a lot of presentations, and a lot of talks to the class, things like that. So this will be more contribution to being confident and comfortable when it comes to doing presentations or pitches, and knowing what is involved in pitches as well. So overall, I have really enjoyed this week. I found it really engaging, really interesting, and I've learned a lot about myself and about my product, and obviously I'm sure you know presentations are probably my favourite things to do, one of my favourite things to do in media, so I really enjoyed myself in that aspect. But yeah, thank you.